welcome to my channel where I'm building a RANS S21 plane. In this episode, this is the second of a two-parter of doing the wingtips. As you noticed from the first part, my first wingtip didn't go as well as I had hoped. Well, the second wingtip didn't go much better. This was definitely a difficult part for me to master the technique to get the seams really tight. I did notice that Tony and Tina from S21 Project also did the RANS wingtips prior to getting the carbon fiber ones from Aerosport, and they struggled the same way. They kind of went through the same process, had the same gaps, and weren't happy with it, and then went Aerosport. I may end up putting the Aerosport on there. I'm going to talk to my painter and see if he's got a suggestion where we can fill in the gaps with something. I don't know what, or maybe they just paint and leave the gap. I don't know, but I'm not completely happy with it. I'm not giving anyone any directions on how to do theirs. It's just this is where I ended up with it. So with that, let's jump in and finish up this second wingtip. Okay, I'm putting the nav lights in my wingtips. I did not get the aero lights that were optional with the Nikon kit. I bought the Wayland Microburst 3. They were about $300 less. I think the RANS aero lights were $1,100, maybe $1,000. These were $550, $560, and they've got good reviews, so I went with the Wayland. The installation process, they give you a template. You've got to mark some holes. You got to put your wingtip on. They do not give you mounting hardware with it. It's really tiny, number 4 nuts or screws, nuts and bolts. And need some tiny little number 4 washers, and so that did not come with it, so I had to pick those up. But it looks like they just come out and mounted on, screwed in, and then the wires get pushed through. Okay, that went on pretty simple. The lens cover's back on again. I've just got some stainless hardware coming through, number 4s with some 4 washers, and I'll put a plug on the end of this. The first wing tip is taped up, and it's as good as I could do. So this is it. That's going to be my wing tip. Hopefully I got a good painter and he can figure it out from there. Underneath, we've got a pretty good seam, pretty tight all the way. So that's it. That's going to be my wing tip. And maybe the second one will be a little tighter. The next step is to get up in there with a Sharpie and mark all your holes. They're all up along the top and the bottom and along these supports. So that's what you're going to screw your nut plates into, is the marked holes on the wingtip. Okay, it looks like you're only doing the 2, 4, 6, 8. There are holes drilled here also, but you're not putting nut plates here. It's just the 2 along the top and the bottom, or the pairs of 2s along the top and the bottom. And it also looks like you've got the nut plate and then the nut plate support. This is the nut plate support. Obviously these are the nut plates. So these you trim, and I guess they're going to go in between, and then the nut plate on the back. Okay, I've got 8 nicely marked circled holes indicating where each of my nut plates needs to go. Okay, I'm testing my nav lights, wingtip lights, and the landing lights. And I've got my wire runs coming in from the wings for both. And I'm just going to hook them up to the battery direct and just make sure everything's working right. And I've got red on right, had to think about that for a second, white tail and strobe, so everything's working. Before I finish the wingtips, I have a note in my manual to adjust the wingtip lights. These are landing lights and taxi lights, also wigwag. So what I've done is I've put the plane in a level attitude, which would probably represent a final approach attitude. And I'm going to adjust one of the wingtip lights so it's slightly in and slightly down. So I've got some runway presence as I'm coming down. This one, what I'm going to do is I'll probably put the tail down as if I'm taxiing, and then I'll point that closer to the runway in a taxi position. So I'll have one down a little bit more than the other, but that should give me light both when taxiing and on final approach. And then you've got to, once you get them set, you're supposed to Loctite blue, per the manual, those nuts bolts, nuts and bolts into place. Okay, well that cut worked. The lens fits right in. It goes up behind these rivet heads and then locks in on the lower one, and it slides in pretty tight, and then this little bulge in the lens kind of snaps into the cutout, and it's a good fit. My next step was to put a bead or tape the wings with some masking tape, and then put a bead of 100% silicone in around the edge to secure for moisture entry. My next step was to screw on the wingtip from the nut plates that we put in from behind. So I taped the wingtip back into place, and once I got the first one set here loosely, then I set the second one down here loosely, and then I pulled it in. Then I took the tape off so I could adjust it to get the nuts in, or the bolts in. They're not easy you have to have perfect alignment, and you're assuming everything went perfectly, and that never happens with me. So it took a little bit of time of juggling, but I got it in. Okay, that's one wingtip done. Now just repeat the process on the other side. Boy, this clearly was not my favorite part of the build. I struggle with the wingtips probably more than almost anything else I can think of, and I probably give myself a C+ on the quality. It's secure, it's stable. It's just my lines aren't as good as I would have liked to see, but it is what it is. Let's see if I can do better on the other one. Okay, here goes wingtip number 2 for the gluing. I've got my 0.050 inch 5 playing card gap set all the way around, so I've got it raised up just a little bit. Got it weighted down, hopefully in place. I've got my jig waiting to go on top, and we'll see if we can do a better job on this one. Well, my second wingtip didn't come out much better than the first. The overhang here is pretty good. It's about a 0.050, so that worked. But as I get down here, it's clearly more. Down near the end, it's a lot more, which I'm not sure why that happened. And on the other side, it didn't overhang at all. It didn't come down to the table, apparently, even with the weight on top and everything else. So this is what I'm going to work with. It's what I've got. Well, I finished the second wingtip, the left tip. It really didn't come out better than the first one. I thought I would have it down, but it was just, I did the best I could do. The seam isn't that bad going down here. It's a little bit. And I come up here, the seam looks pretty good, but again, a little gap. So that's, hopefully my painter can fix that. Well, that's it for the wingtips. Moving on. That segment took 31.6 hours. That brings my build project to date to 1,550 hours. I think I'm a little behind the average builder, but it's just taking me more time. But they're done, they're up, nav lights are in. I'm gonna move away from the wingtips and go back and get some of my tail feathers done. So thanks for watching. Remember that, dream it, just build it.